Hi, my name is Diane. You're currently watching the Just Kidding Around show. Thank you so much for joining us. Our music was a prelude to the entire show. I want to thank Mr. Karl Black and David Ermentrout for coming back. They were here for an earlier show, and we had so many positive comments that we were excited to have you back again. So thank you. I know you come from a long way with your bowls. Before we get started, we like to look into the cameras and give a shout out to maybe somebody in the community. So I'm going to say hi to Mr. Feeney, hi to the kids at Lydia Hawk.
Hi, Birdie.
Hello, ice cream people.
So we're not allowed to advertise, so I probably can't tell you the name, but Mr. Black is the owner of a very large ice cream company, and he delivers to over 250 stores and restaurants in our area. But we're not here to talk about ice cream. We're here to talk about these incredible bowls. And would you like to tell us how old these bowls are?
Well, our oldest bowl, is about the 15th century.
And that would be this one in the corner?
Yeah, and this one here also is 15th century. And these are dated by people that we would say had the credentials. Some people say that you can't accurately tell, but how the bowl was made and the types of bowls that are consistent, the wear of the bowl, and also the shapes and the metal. There's different ways that someone who studies these and have been around them for 30 years can tell. And the people who did this before they were into bowls were into statues, bronze statues.
Oh, so they would know.
Yeah, and they needed to know the period to be able to sell these. And
well, I noticed that this one has almost like a lip on it, and not all of them do. Does that have something to do with the dating?
Yeah, definitely. These are called high walls, but you can see that high wall is a lot shorter, thicker, squatter, and that's why that's a 15th century bowl. All the bowls from that time period look like that.
Okay.
So that's another indication that, of the age, and these are like 18th century here. So as you got up, they made them taller and the lips weren't as thin. And,
they started narrow.
Yeah, a lot of different styles of bowls and,
And does that affect the sound then?
Oh, definitely.
The height of the wall?
Thicker the ball, the higher the sound. That bowl
thicker the
happens to be the highest toned of a high wall.
May I pick this up?
Sure.
Oh, that sucker's heavy. Wow. And so it has a big lip. And you're saying this one is about 500 years old?
Yeah, actually about 700
Maybe
years
700
old.
years old? Oh my goodness. It looks ancient.
And that's the highest tone. You feel how thick it is. The bowls that are the thinnest actually have the lowest tone.
The ones that that's odd.
Yeah,
You wouldn't think so.
Thinner, so if you can get that right in the middle.
So that has to be right in the middle of that. Okay. Right. And what about what they're made out of? Does that affect the sound?
I would imagine for sure. They say the older bowls are made of many metals. I would imagine they smelted them from what was available in their area. So, it would vary. But basically they're bronze, which is copper and tin. And then it would depend on what secret little recipes they had to bring out their unique sound,
Also, the quality of the metal depended on where it came from in the mountains. Oh. So the quality of the metal from the high mountains of Tibet may be different than the quality that was in India.
Okay. So these are made in Tibet, India, and
Nepal.
And
actually even in Bhutan and China, Korea, Japan, they're different, but they all made something similar, in shape and size and sound.
And they're handmade, or is there a factory somewhere
Oh,
that
no,
cuts them out with robots?
There's a place in India near Bengali, India. There's 5,000 people in this town, and they all make singing bowls. And they do it the way they did it thousands of years ago. Their dirt floor, they have just a blank metal. They put it in a hot fire, pulls it out, turns it on its side, and 3 people with sledgehammers, pound on it, and he turns it, and they get a little edge on it, and he puts it back in the fire, and he pulls it out, and they work on it. Then they put it in the water, and then they file it, and a lot of work goes into making one bowl. And it isn't until they finally finish it and put it in the water that they know what it sounds like.
Oh my goodness!
So
and it takes 3 or 4 people to make one bowl.
5 people, because they have a what do you call that? A
stationary bike?
Yeah, a bike that runs a spinning lathe.
Wheel.
Oh, a lathe, okay.
So they got a guy on the lathe, sitting there working the inside of the bowl, smoothing it out. It's sitting there spinning. So they got 3 guys, hitting the bowl, rounding it, 1 guy holding it, turning it, 1 guy on a bicycle, 1 guy, working the lathe. So it takes like a family to make a bowl, so.
So each one of these bowls is a work of art.
Oh, definitely.
Not to mention, would you say they're medicinal or healing in any way?
Definitely, in the sense of at least from the level of stress reduction and relaxation. After that, what it does to each individual. And I believe that, you actually become the sound, because we're 70-some% water or whatever, and sound travels quickly through water, and I feel like the sound changes every cell in our body. And so when you listen to them for a while, you just feel so harmonious that I actually think you become the sound.
Well, we're made out of vibration. That's interesting. I do know when I came in here tonight, I was saying right before the show started that I was exhausted. I work 2 schools, and I mean, I'm not always as tired as I was tonight, but I was so tired. And then about 15, 20 minutes ago, all of a sudden I had all this energy. And it might have been the bowls, might have been that little bit of coffee I had, but I think it's the bowls.
If people would like to have a bowl and play it themselves, they can actually bring about their own healing.
Oh, really?
There's this formula: the frequency of the sound plus intention equals healing.
Okay.
I've seen Dave and I play every Sunday. We played for years, and maybe someday he'll come in and be carrying the weight of the world, and within 15 minutes I see this big smile on his face. I mean, it literally changes you. You just don't, you're not thinking about those things, and all of a sudden this beautiful, pleasing sound just creates this beautiful, pleasing expression.
I'd also like to lead into a little something about the gongs. The bowls, you're affected in your mind. The gongs you're affected on a cellular level.
Oh my.
So.
Okay. Yeah, last time you guys were here, we didn't talk too much about the gongs. We listened to the gongs, and in a few minutes you're going to hear the bowls and the gongs. I want to say one more thing about the bowls. I remember you mentioned last time you were here that there's sort of like a yin and a yang. There's a male and a female sound that come from these bowls. And did you say, if I remember correctly, you said that the tap is the male sound?
Yeah, the struck tone is the male sound, and the rim tone is the female sound.
And do they sound? Do all these have different pitches, or do all these bowls sound the same?
No, they're all different notes, and you need to just hear and go through lots of bowls to find the notes to match the harmonics that you want in a set of bowls. And no, every bowl, this is a high 6th octave D, this is a 5th octave B, a G sharp, an F, an E, a D, a B, a C. So, and then you start matching the middle range bowls and then the low bowls, and you have a symphony of octaves of bowls. you know.
And that, when they're making that bowl, they do not have the intent of making a certain note.
No.
It just turns out that way. So then you can spend what, weeks, months looking for the right bowl?
Years.
Years.
I bought a healing set, which is basically 1 octave on a piano of white and black keys. It took over 5 years to match that together for a concert pitch set of just looking and looking and looking and, you know, putting meters on bowls and pianos to try to get it matched up. But boy, when you get it, we have a set of this size bowls that are concert pitch, and then we have an octave up of cups and another octave up of cups that are all concert tuned. And so you can imagine then you can start playing music, you know.
Jeez, play some rock and roll,
Western scale.
No, Christmas.
Oh, Christmas.
Christmas
I'm
music.
Christmas bells, not
you
rock
can-
and roll. And do you want to say something before we start the little concert about the gongs? Where are they from?
Well, you know, it's
What's
funny.
the history on
the
those?
gongs have such a rich history. Like in Vietnam and stuff, like everybody has a gong. They bring it out and play it for birthdays and New Year's, and I mean, it's just something. It's a part of their life, you know. And you can see that any ceremony in the East, you know, you hear a gong, it just stops you. There's a sacredness, you know, because you know, the universal sound. Whether amen, om, that sound, how it's translated in whatever language or tradition, they're playing that sound.
Oh,
You can hear that. Oh,
yeah, you do.
it's
I
the
didn't
same thing with the bowls. You can hear the same sound.
Oh, that sound is there.
So you know you're getting all these sounds, and behind that note is that And so when you listen to that for an hour or so, it just works its magic on you.
Oh my goodness.
But these bowls essentially are called a sitting gong.
A sitting gong.
These are a hanging gong.
So are gongs older than bowls, or is that not a fair?
I don't really know. They've both been
Okay.
around for thousands of years, you know. So.
And these are more celebratory, and these are more
Well, I think these
No?
are more of in a meditative.
I think
more
they're more
meditative, and
rituals.
these are more, yay,
Yeah.
we're getting married kind of thing. Yeah.
But I do know that it's funny. All the ladies, you know, and my wife and his sister, they love the gongs. You know, it's just funny how that works. I just get this feedback. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I love them all. You
Yeah.
know, because they all do the same thing. They all get you to this calm state, and they help you let go of all the world, all those cares,
Okay.
and all those worries.
Well, I think we need to hear them. I think if you want to start a concert, then I'll just step aside. Is there anything else you want to say before you do this?
No.
Okay, and you do concerts around?
Yes. We played at
Around
Evergreen State College here
Okay.
in February, and we'll be there next year. We're going in to do a CD here in a couple of weeks. And
Okay, and how do we find out about where those might be? I don't think I put a website on.
we have a website, Hope and Heart, Open Mind Singing Bowls.
Open Heart Singing Mind?
Open Hearts,
Open
Open Mind.
Open Heart, Open Mind
Yeah.
Singing Bowl. So if they type that in, then that's a website?
Yeah.
Okay, so play away.
All right.
We'll start with the gongs.
You're going to start with the gong?
Yes.
Okay.